terrorizing the citizens of Vrindavan. Now, this is one of Krishna's most interesting leelas. But to complete the story, why my friend asked me this, I realized only when I peeked into that tree. I'm looking at a hollow tree bark. I put my eyes into that hollow and I pulled back immediately in horror because all I could see was two snake fangs darting out. The tree wood has become like two snake fangs. I looked at my friend and I said, what is this? And he said, that's what the tree keeps thinking about. The tree thinks about the time the snake came out. And that's the last thing that the tree saw. The tree has become that snake by virtue of thinking. Oof. That you can understand. Of course, that talks about his connection to all these natural elements. But that is Krishna Katha. That you can see the magic of the universe. You can see Krishna Leelas, which brings me to the third point around Krishna. One is Krishna Katha is in a grantham called the Bhagavata Puranam. Krishna Katha is in time, Janmashtami. And Krishna Katha is in Vrindavan. In that Vrajabhumi, the kind of things that happen there, the magic of the space. When I say Krishna Bhakti is different, it's not a loose statement. Because here you have to unlearn things from spirituality. Because everything that applies to quote unquote the boxes of spirituality, not that spirituality is a box, but there are certain tenets that we start to follow in the path of Sanatana Dharma. Krishna Bhakti will make you question even that. Because it has to pull you into a different space altogether. And the experiences of those in Vrindavan are testimony to that. Because there, it's not as much about Shastram. Not to say that it disregards Shastram, but it goes into a space beyond Shastram, where you have to understand what is actually happening over here. So I'll give you an example of a story. This happened like maybe a decade ago. There's a woman in Vrindavan who used to be extremely devoted to Krishna to the point that she would talk to Krishna in her home and Krishna would respond. She treated Krishna like her child. And one day she went to the backyard and she was chatting with the neighbor, trying to talk about something, and from inside the house she can hear Krishna calling. He said, "Come, Amma, come and feed me." So she's gone and given him something. Again, she's seeing him. So immediately the rational mind will say, what do you mean he said feed me? What it means is, to her, that's how that voice spoke. So she's gone and taken care of whatever he needed. 2 minutes later, she's resuming the conversation. He said, "Amma, I need something else. I need water." Then she's done that. Again, she goes back. Again, he says, "I need a blanket. I'm feeling cold." This goes on and on and on. And her interruptions, constantly he's interrupting her. And finally, he screams, says, "There's a cat that's come into the house. I'm very scared." At this point, she is talking to her neighbor and she gets extremely irritated and she says, "You have the Shankha Chakra at your disposal, no? Why are you getting so scared of a cat? Use the Shankha Chakra then." And at that point, she herself has written about this and she said, he spoke to her in a voice and he said, "You want me to use my Shankha Chakra? I will. All these days, you treated me like a son, so I treated you like a mother. Now you want to remember that I'm Paramatma, I'm again distant from you, I'm gone." This is an undoing of a spiritual truth. Spiritual truth is remember that he's God, remember that he's God, remember that he's everywhere. Krishna Bhakti is saying forget even that. Forget all of these things. Just fall in love. Just take care of him. That is the whole idea in Vrindavan. That is the Gopikas. That is the Gopas. When they're with Krishna, they're all thinking about Krishna. They are not thinking Krishna as Paramatma. No, they're just thinking Krishna, 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 and they're obsessed. When Krishna goes into the water after the snake Kaliya, immediately in Vrindavan, there are a series of ill omens, of upshakuns that suddenly everybody sees. Nobody's thinking that something happened to my children. They're all thinking that something happened to Krishna. That is Krishna.